Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, everybody. John Surratt and Chris Rapoza come back at you in our Football Friday set for our Football Friday award show, and time to wrap up some gifts up today, right, Christian?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, John. All we're missing is a chimney to go down to bring some of these presents.
Well, I guess pop it up on your TV we'll have to do, but let's get right into it with our Quarterback of the Year award nominees, where we start with our honorable mentions with one freshman and four seniors, starting the record-breaking freshman from Indy, Brock Green, to do-it-all, Caden Vance, the VHSL all-time completion holder, and Carter Creasy, as well Devin Richardson and Jalen Younger. But our Quarterback of the Year is Princeton Tigers' own junior Chance Barker. Barker on the year passed for 2,732 yards with a 67.9 completion percentage, throwing for 336 touchdowns to just 3 picks and leading the team under center to an undefeated regular season.
Staying in the backfield, but the running backs this time too. Princeton Tigers crack honorable mentions. A G-man fresh off a state chip, Silas Nelson, who had himself a year. And of course, can't forget about Tyson Atkins, who was a staple for that Bobcats offense. But there can only be one winner, and that goes to Caden Sims, who just ran away with the award. Sims cracked just above 2,400 yards, scoring 30 times throughout the season, while leading his team to the Class A state tournament as a 10 seed.
Now onto our wide receivers of the year with 5 guys that out wide that really separated themselves, you can say, with Kyler Canada from Westside, Logan McDonald, who finished 9th all-time in VHSL receptions, Jalen Bailey from Shady Spring, Chris Edwards from those G-men, and Tristan Klein from Montcalm. But our wide receiver of the year, he was the beneficiary of our Quarterback of the year, was Brad Malser, takes home this year's award. Back-to-back Tigers with the wide receiver of the year, as Malser hauled in 71 receptions with 1,259 yards and 14 touchdowns on the year.
Let's put a bow on top of these offensive awards. We have all the playmaking positions already. Now it's time to name the overall offensive player of the year, where 2 familiar names pop up in the honorable mention list once again. But the winner of this award has to be Caden Vance. His play this year stood above the rest. The senior led the Renegades to a 7-3 finish and a AA playoff berth. Just listen to these stats. About a 63% completion, just under 2,200 passing yards while throwing 28 touchdowns. Oh, and he can run it too with 715 more yards and 4 tutties. Let's flip over to the defensive side of the rock. There are some big-time nominees on this list. I don't know about you, John, but if I was on the field and saw any of these guys coming at me, I am running the other way.
Definitely not.
But like the other ones, there's only one winner. This guy just keeps on winning. Fresh off a second state chip and 15-0 season, Amari Hill has already been named Southwest and Region 2D Defensive Player of the Year. Add our award to that list. 106 total tackles, 15.5 sacks, and much more than that. We'll do it for him.
But now for our overall player of the year, we wanted to highlight the best player who, no matter what side of the ball they play, with both Hill and Vance, our offensive and defensive players, Silas Nelson and Caden Sims, the tailbacks, as well Chance Barker. But our overall player of the year is a kid who dominates both sides of the ball, the Penn State commit, Daniel Jennings, who did it on both sides, racking up 1,373 yards and 23 touchdowns on the ground, 225 receiving yards and 5 catches hauled in for scores, while on defense, he got recruited for, having 10 sacks, 22 solo tackles, and 12.5 tackles for loss. And while we highlight the individual play of the season, definitely can't forget about the coaches that led these teams throughout the year.
At the end of the day, those guys are the ones who put the product out there. So let's take a look at the honorable mentions. Of course, we have to start with all the guys who made the playoffs. There were at least 8 coaches that stand out that just absolutely needed to be recognized for what they do. From state champions to guys who really just turned programs around. They did it all. But instead of one, we need co-champion or co-coaches of the year for this. This was probably the hardest decision to make, in my opinion at least. How do you pick between Gary Roach, who in 2 years took Riverview from winless to the playoffs, and Justin Koger from the West Side, who turned his squad into a 5-5 product in 2023 to 7-3 with a postseason berth?
But now for our team of the year. These 4 teams for honorable mention all won at least 1 playoff game, and 2, including the Princeton Tigers and Independence Patriots, were just 1 game away for playing for a state championship. But for our team of the year, it's the only team that won it all and went undefeated in the process. The Graham G-men are our team of the year, and if I could give a Lifetime Coach of the Year award, it would also go out to Tony Palmer, guiding the G-men to their 6th state title and 3rd under his regime. As that would do it for our individual and team awards on the year.
But we're not done just yet. We've got our highlights and top regular season and postseason plays coming up in just a bit.